Hi everyone, good morning. Welcome to our School of Social and Political Sciences information session for our International Masters in Security, Intelligence and Strategic Studies. We're really pleased to have you here. It's morning time where we are in the UK and it's quite wintry, but I know maybe a lot of you will be tuning in from different parts of the world, so feel free to share in the chat where you're currently based, and it's lovely to see you all. So this session intends to give you some further information on the programme, our International Masters programme, as well as the application process and scholarships, and to try and just give you some guidance today. Okay, so thank you again for joining. So in today's session then, we'll begin with an introduction to the School of Social and Political Sciences and Glasgow as a city. I'll then hand over to our programme convener, Marcin, who can take you through the programme and the different pathways and what to expect. We'll have a chat about the scholarships that are available, and we'll also provide some application guidance, and we'll also chat to you about the student experience, and there'll be the opportunity for you to ask any questions at the end of the session. So if you do have any questions, feel free to pop them into the Q&A box and we'll answer them as we go along. I forgot to introduce myself before, so I should say that I'm Gabby from the student recruitment team, so nice to meet you all. And we're also joined by Marcin, our programme convener for the International Masters in Security, Intelligence and Strategic Studies, or IMSIS. So Marcin, do you want to say a quick hello?
Hey, good morning, everyone, or good afternoon, depending on where you are. Welcome to our information session on IMSIS. As Gaby mentioned, I'm Marcin Kaczmarski. I'm the program director of IMSIS, and I also teach during the time at Glasgow, and I supervise IMSIS dissertation. So welcome to our session.
And we're also joined by Katie today as well, who's the Erasmus Mundus programme manager. So Katie, I don't know if you're there in the background.
Hello, I am having a bit of a Wi-Fi difficulty day, so I'll have my camera off, but I'll be mostly answering questions in the chat as you put them in.
Okay, so great. Let's get started then. So a little bit about the School of Social and Political Sciences then. So we're a vibrant and leading centre for social science research and teaching, addressing some of the key social and political challenges of our time. Now, as a school, we're very interdisciplinary and we have a broad expertise spanning various disciplines, and this includes urban studies and public policy. We've got politics and international studies, media and communication, sociology and criminology, global studies, research master's programmes, as well as our prestigious Erasmus Mundus joint master's degrees. So a little bit about our school and our school community and what makes us really unique. So we are one of the largest schools at the university. We're a very large and globally diverse school. We have on average 3,000 students, almost half of which are studying at postgraduate level. We have over 250 teaching staff from almost 40 different countries, and our students come from over 100 nationalities. So this really enriches the learning environment. It really gives you, it really adds to the global learning environment and really gives you a broad learning perspective. Okay. So a little bit about our city of Glasgow then. So Glasgow has been named one of the best cities in the world according to the Time Out 2024. We are very, very rich in culture, and we have a lot to offer. We're known as one of the friendliest cities in the world, and our city slogan is "People Make Glasgow." So you'll be made very welcome in Glasgow. We are the cultural capital. We've got a lot of different museums and galleries. We're well known for music. We're a UNESCO Music City, and we have a lot of gigs and festivals. We're known for things such as Scottish Opera. We have a beautiful campus, an historic campus with lots of modern buildings as well. And the university is investing over $1 billion into its campus redevelopment. So this shows you this shows you the campus here. You can see your main tower in the background and our memorial gates and some of our modern buildings. So hopefully this is where you'll be joining us and studying with us during your semester. So I'm now going to show you a short video clip of the School of Social and Political Sciences.
What kind of world do you want to live in? How do we build institutions and implement public policy? Who decides what is fair, just, and serves the public interest? Here in the School of Social and Political Sciences at the University of Glasgow, we seek to answer these questions and thereby contribute to building a better future. Through rigorous research and innovative teaching, we are committed to addressing the key social and political challenges of our time. Our work, which combines theoretical inquiry and empirical analysis, spans across the social science disciplines. From democracy, security, migration and global governance to housing, cities, sustainability and digital society, our work is globally recognized for innovation at the knowledge frontier. We collaborate with public and private sector partners to share our research and create positive impact in the real world here in Scotland and Great Britain, in Europe and across the globe. The school has 3 divisions: Political and International Studies, Sociological and Cultural Studies, and Urban Studies and Social Policy. They are internationally known for their research and teaching excellence. Our students on any of our undergraduate, master's or PhD programs thrive in a vibrant, supportive and student-centered learning environment and benefit from our world-leading research culture. Through our dedicated academic and professional services staff, we are here to support our students and to support students to support each other. We equip students across all levels with theoretical foundations and analytical tools to critically examine society, politics, and institutions.
What you study will challenge you to think critically and creatively. My studies have given me the skills, confidence, and insights to take the next steps in my career.
There's a whole world outside the classroom. Join societies, volunteer for class rep, and apply for ambassador programs. Glasgow is a great city, and the School of Social and Political Sciences really do their utmost to make you feel safe and feel like you've always belonged.
The next generation of thought leaders, policymakers, and social scientists are being forged here in Glasgow. If you're interested in contributing to social change and a better future, and if you want to develop and hone your expertise and skills in the social sciences, do join our world-leading school here in the great city of Glasgow.
I hope that gave you a bit of a taste for who we are, and what you can expect when you join our world-changing university. So a little bit about our Erasmus Mundus programs at Glasgow. So at Glasgow, we do offer prestigious Erasmus Mundus joint international master's programs. Now, these master's programs allow you to study at multiple universities across Europe. You're gaining practical experience through placements and the opportunity to gain language skills along with cultural understanding. So I'll now hand over to Martin, who can take you through the programme. Over to you, Martin.
Thank you, Gabby. Yeah, I understand that you have some idea of IMSIS as you are on this webinar, so I will try to give you a bit more details, and then we will address all the necessary questions in the Q&A session. So what the aim of the program is to equip you with a full spectrum of skills and understanding of international security, of different aspects of international security, of different understandings and different interpretations of what security is from the perspective of all relevant actors, looking at states, great powers, international organizations, non-state actors, individuals, We focus on both traditional challenges to security and on most recent challenges. The main feature of the program, I would say, which is its biggest strength, is that each of you will be able to build your own security specialization in security studies throughout the 3 teaching semesters and 1 semester of your independent study. You will gradually, starting with a joint foundation, you will gradually build your own profile as a security expert. Can I ask for the next slide, please? So there, the most recent edition of the IMSIS program, which starts in 2026 and which is funded again by the European Commission, will consist of 3 pathways. As you can see, the pathway with the University of Belgrade still needs to be finally accredited, but we are optimistic about this. And pathways are based on mobility programs, and in the next slide you will see how particular pathways look like. So you all start in Glasgow. So Glasgow semester 1, there are 2 compulsory courses, and there is 1 optional course. So this is also a response to previous cohorts feedback, which found that we had a little too small a choice of programs at Glasgow. So this has also changed, and we will offer you also a choice, not only compulsory courses. Then you move on to either Dublin City University or the University of Trento. In the break between Mobility 1, so Mobility 2, so the first academic year, and the second academic year, Mobility 3, you will attend 1 of 3 summer schools that the program is offering. And then in Mobility 3, you either will go to Charles University Prague or to the Belgrade University once we have the accreditation confirmed. And finally, the last mobility period is the so-called independent study period. So you spend this either at 1 of the consortium partners, or if you are doing an internship, a placement, you are then located with a partner. And this is the time when you work on your dissertation, and most of you will do some form of placement, internship, or some of you will even start a job at that time. Can I have next slide, please? In terms of the dissertation, the main feature of the program is that we offer 2 types. One is more research-oriented dissertation, where you 80% of your dissertation, of your final dissertation grade, is composed by the dissertation. And there is something which we call professional track dissertation, which means that your placement or your internship is closely related to your dissertation topic, and you work with your placement supervisor also on the dissertation, and then you will also prepare a special self-reflective report on your placement. Can I have next slide, please? Placements have always been an important component of the program, and now we in the 3rd edition we have given it even more relevant place within the program. Most of you will do your placements, internships in the second academic year, mostly after you finish your teaching in Mobility 3 period. And there are 2 types which correspond to the dissertation type. So there is something which we call skill-based placements, which are focused on providing you with a specific understanding of a particular topic or a specific skill set. And then there is the second, which is related to the dissertation, and you cooperate with your placement supervisor also on the dissertation, not only on the placement itself. And we have a number of partners. We are now broadening the base of our partners, also on the basis of our previous experience. Our previous partners have been based both in Europe, we had some partners in Latin America, in East Asia, so there in the Middle East. So there is going to be a broad spectrum of potential placements. Can I have next slide, please, Gaby? In terms of career prospects, our alumni have traveled with their security expertise to a number of sectors. So there are those who work in their nation states bureaucracies, often security bureaucracies. Some of them work in law enforcement, in armed forces. There's a lot of our students who go to the private sector in terms of different types of risk analysis, intelligence analysis. There is also, from each cohort, several students always go on to do their PhDs and stay in academia. Some students set up their own businesses, and some of our alumni set up several years ago a business, open sources intelligence analysis course, which now is being taught also to IMSI students. So as you can see, there is a full spectrum of careers, depending on your specialization and on your choices. Can I have next slide, please?
Okay. Thank you for that, Martin. I'm able to go through these next slides then, just on our scholarships. So our scholarships for our International Masters in Security, Intelligence and Strategic Studies are now opened. They're open to well-qualified applicants from around the world. So we have a total of 70 scholarships available. And this includes 50 regular scholarships in addition to 20 for specific regions. Now, the IMSIS scholarships cover full tuition fees along with insurance, a travel contribution and a monthly allowance. Now, to be eligible for a scholarship, you must hold a conditional or an unconditional offer to the programme. You must apply by the scholarship's deadline, which is the 8th of January 2026, and no later. You cannot be a previous Erasmus Mundus Joint Master's Scholarship recipient, and you also need to submit your application along with all supporting documents by the January 8th deadline. If you don't submit all your supporting documents, then you will not be considered for the scholarship. All supporting documents must be submitted along with your application by the 8th of January. The only exception to this is if you haven't completed your degree yet and therefore you haven't received your degree certificate. Otherwise, everything must be submitted by the 8th of January for you to be considered for a scholarship. Now, in order to apply for the scholarship, you have to apply through our Erasmus Mundus programme web pages or consortium web pages, and the web address is included in the slides here, www.securityintelligence/erasmusmundus.eu/apply. So this is the web page that you must visit for the application form. Okay. So again, just to go through the deadlines, as we said, if you're applying for scholarships, the deadline is the 8th of January, 2026. And if you're self-funding, if you're funding your own application, you have until the 21st of August to apply. So please keep in mind these deadlines, okay? Now, in terms of how to apply then, so we mentioned previously that you apply through the consortium webpage at www.securityintelligence/erasmusmundus.eu/apply. Now, you have to complete one of two application forms. So there is a scholarship application form if you are applying for the scholarship, or alternatively, there is a self-funder application form. Now, you have to complete one of two forms. on this application form, you have to complete all your details, and this includes indicating your study track on the application form. Now you have to sign the form, save it as a PDF, and then one of these forms needs to be uploaded along with your application in PDF formats. And you'll be applying through the traditional route, the Glasgow University portal. We have a application portal, so you'll be applying through the Glasgow University portal, and your application will be assessed by Glasgow University admissions staff. So when you complete your online application to the programme, make sure you upload one of these two forms along with your application in PDF format. So either the self-funder application form or the scholarship application form. In addition to one of these two forms, you must upload all supporting documents. And I mentioned this before, it's a very important point. Your application will not be considered unless all documents are received by the 8th of January 2026. That's for the scholarship. If any of your documents are in holding, then your application will not be considered. So make sure you have everything together at one time and apply by the deadline. Okay. So just a little bit then on the student experience. So we talked about the student experience before at the University of Glasgow and the School of Social and Political Sciences, being a very diverse school. The IMSIS cohort in particular, so normally we have around 45 to 100 students every year from a lot of different countries. Again, a very diverse class. We've been ranked in the UK's top 20 for graduate employability according to the QS Graduate Employability Rankings 2022. So your degree will stand you in good stead for your future career. We do have over 300 student clubs and societies at the University of Glasgow, meaning there's something to do for everyone. You can get involved in a lot of different groups, get involved in our community or our campus life and meet a lot of different people. And we have access to a lot of different resources across our partner institutions. And lastly, obviously in the Erasmus Mundus programmes, you get the opportunity to study at different universities across Europe, different multicultural cities, and enhance your multicultural understanding. Okay, so it's an excellent student experience. If you want to know a little bit about Glasgow, we do have a student-led podcast, Get to Know Glasgow, and it covers everything about Glasgow and important topics like student life, our campus and Glasgow as a city. So you can listen into this if you have some time. And I'll stop sharing my screen now because I'm aware that we will have a lot of questions to answer. So we're happy to address your questions. I'll see what questions we have in the chat that have come up so far. Okay, and I can see that Caitlin, our programs manager, is answering some of these questions live at the minute. Okay, so we have a question here, Marcin, in the Q&A box. How open is the programme to fresh undergraduates with barely any experience in the field, directly related to IMSIS, but with a strong will to learn?
Thank you. The program is open to fresh undergraduates. It's the lack of experience is not an obstacle to enroll in IMSIS and to use IMSIS as the further board to your career progress. In terms of if we assume that it also relates to scholarships, then the questions about how competitive you are applying for a scholarship, because during the last edition of scholarships, we received almost 1,000 applications. So it means that the competition is really fierce. And if you are a fresh undergraduate and you want to apply for a scholarship, we would expect that you engage in some activities that strengthen your CV, that you have an excellent final thesis, and that you have other elements built around your studies. Thank you.
Great. That's great. Thank you, Marcin. And yeah, we should maybe just talk about some of the entry requirements as well on top of that. So in terms of the entry requirements, you know, the base entry requirements, we're looking for a 2-1 honours degree in backgrounds across the social sciences, including some of the disciplines that we discussed before, such as politics, international relations, history, peace studies, area and cultural studies, law, sociology, anthropology, criminology, human geography, computing science, you know, social and public policy. So see that these are some of the degree backgrounds that we're looking for, and they are all listed on our program webpage, and we can share the links. So please look at those you know, entry requirements there. And also, you know, as Marcin mentioned, any additional experience that you have, any relevant work experience, you know, will also be considered as well. Okay. So thank you. Let me see if there's anything else. Okay, so after accepting an unconditional offer, does the applicant automatically enter the scholarship selection pool provided they applied using the Erasmus Mundus scholarship application form? So yes, if you apply to the programme and through the scholarship you know, selection kind of process and apply by the deadline, then yes, you will be, you know, considered, your application will be considered for scholarship, as long as you have an offer, and you apply by the deadline. Okay, so hope that answers that question. Okay. There's a question here about from a student who applied to the programme last year but was unable to move forward due to lack of funds. But this year you're going to apply again and also apply for the full scholarship. So I hope my application last year won't affect my new application. So I don't believe so, Marcin. You're able to apply as long
It won't.
yeah.
We just see it as a new application.
Okay, so it'll be just assessed as a new application. So that's fine. You can apply again. That's great. Okay, so how does a programme evaluate candidates from non-traditional backgrounds, for example, tech, design or risk? What should such applicants highlight? So I don't know. Do you want to answer that, Martin, or do you want me to answer it?
The question is a bit too general to answer precisely because as Gabe mentioned, there is a list of degrees that we accept. And depending on a specific degree, it may be one that doesn't qualify for IMSIS. So this would be the first step. If it does qualify, and we can always clarify it together with the admissions team whether a particular degree qualifies for IMSIS. In terms of flexibility of the program, starting now from the Glasgow semester, you have an option, a choice of courses. On top of this, we have regular workshops, guest lectures, designed and adapted to the needs of particular groups of students. So there is a variation in subjects of summer schools. So in other words, we are trying to make sure that, especially which is always easier with a bigger cohort, we are trying to make sure that particular groups of students receive both advice and have the additional elements of the program tailored to their needs and expectations. So we start each year with asking you about your interests, your particular topics that you would like to work with and work on, and we add it onto the portfolio of seminars and guest lectures.
Okay, that's great. Thank you for that information, Marcin. And yeah, like Marcin said, so obviously we have our kind of traditional degree backgrounds that we would look at when you apply. If you're not following the traditional route, we would be looking at your personal statement and trying to get an understanding of why your degree background would fit the IMSIS program if you're not following that traditional route. So your personal statement would become important there in terms of your motivations and why you think you'd be able to cope with the content of the degree program if you aren't from that background, and any kind of work experience would be useful there. So we'd be looking at motivations, kind of degree background, any relevance, your personal statement, and why you think you would be able to cope with the new kind of content if you're not from the traditional route. But it is also on a case by case basis. So Marston's would work with the admissions team, and if it was a kind of borderline case, it'd be looked at quite carefully by admissions and Marston to see if you make the criteria. So it would be a case of applying and making a full application, and then we would be able to assess it, and we wouldn't be able to assess it kind of otherwise without going through your full application, including your CV, your personal statement, and everything else. Okay. Okay, so we'll look at the next question then. Okay. Okay, so what key factors can help an applicant stand out when applying to the University of Glasgow's Erasmus Mundus International Masters in Security, Intelligence and Strategic Studies programme? So I don't know if we can answer that first section. So in terms of the yeah, okay. So in terms of the how could their their application particularly stand out? So I would say it's to do with I don't know if you want to go first, I could go, but it's more to do with the personal statement, isn't it? And what they include in the personal statement. Do you want? Yeah.
Again, it's given the diversity of of IMSI students and of IMSI's alumni, it's very difficult to generalize because it's mostly about what you do during your studies, what is your professional experience, whether you attempt to specialize in any particular area of security, whether you are engaged with your local community. I mean, there's during the IMSIS applications processes, a number of factors come up which can strengthen your application. So it's really difficult to generalize.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you, Marcin. And obviously, in your personal statement, you have to include things such as your motivations for applying to the program. What's your fit in terms of your educational background and work experience? What's the link? Are you showing a clear career trajectory? What's your motivations for kind of doing it, and how will it help you in your future career? So there's some tips about, personal statements. So giving strong reasons as to why you want to study the program, mentioning relevant study, including projects and dissertations, essays or work experience, providing evidence of your skills, and drawing on broader experiences as well. And highlighting your career aspirations. So, and what makes you stand out as a candidate as well. So these are the kind of things that you could be putting into your application. Okay. So there's a question here. For the Trento pathway, can I include my diploma, which is in Portuguese, since I am from Brazil, as proof of knowledge of a language other than English? So let's have a look. Marcin, do you know about that? I can have a wee look through my notes. Okay.
I can chime
So
in.
sorry, on you go, Katie.
So you should be able to submit that as proof. That will give us a good understanding that you do have an additional language. When it comes time to allocate pathways, if we have further questions around language or we need more proof, we can reach out to you directly for it. But some kind of proof that you did study in an additional language that's not English or Italian typically is sufficient.
Thank you, Katie. Okay. Okay, so my degree certificate will only be issued after the February deadline because my graduation ceremony is later. If I upload an official letter of award conferment from my university instead of certificate, will I be considered for the Erasmus Mundus scholarship? So I believe that if you don't have your degree certificate because you haven't finished your degree, yeah, then I think that is an exception to the rule in terms of uploading documents. However, they probably would want proof that you'd finished your degree. If you can provide evidence of proof that you have finished your degree, any transcripts, or yeah, just official proof that you've actually finished your degree, and upload what you have at this stage, then that would be beneficial. Katie, do you know anything about that and the actual degree certificate, or is proof of finishing and transcripts kind of okay?
Yep. So you need to, if you have completed a degree entirely, you need to submit all of the relevant documentation. If your degree certificate will only be issued after the deadline, or you're still studying, you need to provide the most up-to-date documentation that you have. So whether that's the most recent semester's transcript, some kind of letter from your institution stating that you've finished but don't have the certificate, something along those lines, that would be sufficient, and you would just be issued a conditional offer stating that you need to supply the final documentation in order to get the unconditional offer that makes you eligible to actually join the program in September.
That's great. Thank you. Thanks, Katie. Okay. Okay, can more emphasis be made on the new pathway? The statement that should be written on the new pathway. I'm not sure what that is meant by that question. Any idea, Marcin?
So perhaps we should emphasize the choice of pathways is confirmed by the consortium, and you are not asked to focus very specifically on a pathway when you prepare your personal statement. As for the new pathway, we still wait for the final accreditation of the University of Belgrade, which is again another point, another element that makes it difficult to focus on the new pathway. But I would like to stress that the choice of pathways is not the most primary element of your personal statements, especially that we cannot guarantee the choice of pathways. We will take your preferences once you are UMC student, and once you are enrolled. We will do our best to take your preferences into consideration. And we try to do it as much as we can, but we cannot guarantee the choice of pathways.
Yeah. Okay, that clarifies things then. So you can indicate your choice of pathway, however, it will not be guaranteed. So you don't need to focus on one particular pathway in your personal statement. Okay. Thank you. Okay, so the scholarship application is only accepted through the University of Glasgow website. Is that correct? There's no need to apply through another site. So yes, that is correct. You have to download the scholarship application, complete it, download it, complete it, sign it, and then upload as a PDF to your University of Glasgow online application. And you're able to do that through the document section. So when you're completing your online application through the University of Glasgow portal, there will be a section for uploading documents. This includes all your supporting documents. So your scholarship application will be uploaded to the University of Glasgow portal along with your application and all the other requested supporting documents. So there's no need to apply through another site. You do apply through the University of Glasgow standard application system. but the form is located on the Erasmus Mundus Consortium web page for you to download. But we'll share those links into the chat for you as well. Okay. So let's have a look. Okay, I'll just see if I can share these details for you just now. Let me have a wee look. I'll see if I can share these. Okay. So I just shared some of the links for you there then, okay? So there's a self-funder application form and then also the scholarship application form, okay? And they are on the consortium program webpage. I'll just share that link with you just now as well. See if I can share that for you. Okay, and the consortium webpage apply now URL is also included in the chat for you as well. Okay. Okay. Could you please clarify the section in the application portal that asks about potential funding? If a candidate is applying for the Erasmus Mundus scholarship, should they select external funding? Yes, I believe that's correct. If you are applying for a scholarship, it will be external funding, so you're not self-funding, okay? If an applicant wants to discuss the courses and instructions that align with their potential thesis project, and this is a reason for choosing a particular pathway, should this be addressed in the personal statement or in the section of the application form where we indicate our preferred pathway? I believe there's you can provide an explanation of your chosen pathway. Is that correct, Marcin, when you apply? Sorry, you're on mute.
Yes, this is the case. I can confirm it, yes.
Okay, so when you indicate your preferred pathway, you can provide an explanation of why you're choosing that pathway. So yes, if you want to include things like a potential thesis and any kind of relevant link, then yeah, that would be the place in which you provide your reasons.
Although again, as I mentioned before, I would not pay that much attention to or that much emphasis on the pathway because of this specific factor that we cannot guarantee the choice of pathways. So you may end up on a different pathway. Secondly, when it comes to dissertations, in practice, you start thinking about your dissertation sometime towards the end of your first year. And then you will see what are the courses that you have been attending, what are the courses that you plan to choose during your next mobility periods. Finally, a lot of you will be supervised by professors or located at our partner universities with whom you did not have direct contact. So while it is worth emphasizing which topics interest you and what would you like to focus your research on, I would probably, again, de-emphasize the pathways.
Okay, that's great. And then there's a question here. There's been recent reports about the UK government restricting visas for students from certain nationalities. Could this have any impact on admissions or scholarship decisions? No. So depending your nationality and visas won't have any impact on whether you're offered a place in the program. Your offer could be conditional based on you getting a visa, however, not the other way around. So it shouldn't impact, your admissions decision at all, and whether you get an offer, or a scholarship for that matter. However, one of the conditions of your offer is that you will be able to apply for a visa if you need one, to come to the UK. So your place will be dependent on that, and you've been able to get to Glasgow. I do have some information on visas that I can share with you. Okay, so for IMSA students specifically, so no one will be eligible for the student visa because you'll only be studying in Glasgow for a particular semester. For one semester, you won't be studying in Glasgow for the entire year. So for that reason, there's two kind of visa options for the semester that will be spent in Glasgow. So if you require a visa, you will be applying to the standard visitor visa. And if you do not require a visa and you can enter the UK without a visa or visa free, then you'll just be coming in as a standard visitor, and you'll need to apply for an electronic travel authorization to allow you to come to the UK. And I do have a link that I can share with you that will allow you to check whether you actually need a visa or not. So I can share that in the chat for you as well. Okay. Let me share this with you. Okay. Okay, so I've shared a link in the chat for you as well to do with visas. You can check if you need a visa or not. Okay, thank you. Okay. Okay, so as a last year student graduating in the middle of 2026, before the programme starts and a conditional offer is made, do I need to upload a Hope certificate in place of a degree, from the university, ensuring I will graduate before the start of IMSIS with estimated grades? So yes, I think Katie already answered that question previously. So if you haven't graduated yet, you do need to upload the most recent evidence of your kind of predicted grades, so transcripts, your most recent transcripts, or any evidence that you will be finishing, by 2026, and your predicted grades. So any kind of recent evidence you would upload to the application portal, and your offer would be conditional on you getting your degree and meeting the entry criteria, which would be a 2-1, normally a 2-1 or non-UK equivalent. So yeah, upload any recent evidence, any transcripts, and obviously you can't upload your degree certificate until you actually get it, but make sure you upload any kind of recent evidence and evidence of your predicted grades. Okay. Okay. So I've submitted my application. However, my references have been sent directly to the Erasmus Mundus reference email. So I believe that you have to upload your references along with your application. You can either get your reference, you can upload them along with your application, or you can even put in your referee's details. If you can upload them to the application, then I would do that. Katie, I don't know anything about that. Is there an Erasmus Mundus references?
Yep, I can chime in. So it's up to you as an applicant and up to the people writing your references to decide what's best. You can either upload the documents directly to your application, or your referees can send the references directly to the admissions references email that you can find on our website. It does not strengthen your application to have them submitted one way or another. If you are having your referees submit your references directly via email, make sure that their email is a professional email, not a personal one. And there's a couple other requirements on the website to make sure are followed. And then when you go to submit your application, it will ask specifically to have references put in. But of course, if they're being emailed, you don't have the references themselves. So you can upload a Word document that just states your name, GUID, the name and email address of the person submitting the reference, and when roughly you expect them to be submitting it. This isn't a requirement, but it does help our admissions team make sure they don't lose your reference on accident, or it helps them sort of make sure that your reference gets aligned most easily with your application. In order to check if the reference has been submitted, I would say check with the person who wrote it first. If you're still concerned, you can reach out to the admissions team via their inquiry form and they might be able to confirm if it's there.
Okay, thank you, Katie. So we have a question here to do with, transcripts for both a bachelor's degree and a master's degree. And there's only the option to upload one file at a time. I believe that you can upload multiple documents. I believe that you can upload multiple documents, so I would just upload them separately. I think you can upload as many documents as you like. If you are having any issues doing that, though, you can reach out to the admissions team on the inquiry line, and they'll provide details of how to do that. However, I believe that you can upload multiple documents. So just upload both for your bachelor's degree and your master's degree. It wouldn't do any harm. And then to do with the scholarship application form, which requires a signature, can the signature be provided digitally or by hand? I think either would be fine. I don't think that would matter. Martin, do you have any comments?
Probably the choice would be for the degree that fits with better with the program. If both are a good fit, then I would suggest the master's degree. But I agree that it is not a major problem or obstacle.
Yeah. Okay. And yeah, in terms of the scholarship application form, I think either signature would be fine by hand or digitally, and just, yeah, as long as you sign it in some way, and then yeah, upload with your application. Any signature would do. So that would be okay. 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 I'm an alumnus of the University of Glasgow. I've already completed a master's degree in global security. Can I apply again for IMSIS? Yes, I'm sure you can. You can apply for as many master's degrees or international master's degrees as you like. Yeah, don't see any problem. Is that correct, Martin? Yeah. We'd be happy to have you as an alumnus from Glasgow University, and you also get your alumni discount. So yes, by all means, we would love to have you in the programme. You can apply to another master's degree. Yeah, that would be great. Okay. 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 On the application portal, there's a question, is the funding confirmed for the scholarship applications? If it's not been confirmed, if the scholarship hasn't been announced yet, I would say no to that question. If you haven't received confirmation of being a scholarship recipient, I would say no. And it's just most likely that your offer would be conditional based on you being able to pay the fees, obviously, if the scholarship didn't come through, but that's kind of normal, and you wouldn't be required to pay a deposit if you're applying for a scholarship. So if you upload your scholarship application form, you won't be required to pay a deposit until you find out the outcome of your scholarship decision. Okay. Okay, so there's a question on how you intend to fund your studies. The options available are external, other, or private funds. So for scholarship applications, it would be external funding, I believe. Is that correct? Yeah, external funding. Okay. Okay. So what would you define as an ideal candidate? What is the program or the scholarship um, really looking for in terms of competitiveness? So I don't know if Martin, you want to, I think you've already kind of covered it. We've kind of covered these kind of questions. So
It is again a very general question, given the variety of candidates that we have. I would say that curiosity, passion for security, a clear idea how you would like to pursue your security career, the career in the security realm, but also your record, what you have done so far. So in the sense, there's not a single picture of an ideal candidate.
okay. Yeah. Okay. That's great. As long as you read, I would read the criteria of the scholarship application form. It does give guidance on things to include. So we covered like motivations, experience, having a clear career trajectory, how studying the program will impact you in the future, including your career. So there is guidance on the scholarship application form. So I'd make sure that you follow the guidance and include all these kind of key points in your answer. Okay. So, okay, so that one's been answered. Let's have a look. Will the slides that we showed today be shared? Are we able to share the slides? What do you think? Would you possibly share them? I'd be happy to share them.
I
Marcin?
understand that it's possible, especially that we would like to have the recording also put on the
Yeah.
website
Okay.
for
Yeah.
any,
So normally
any
we would.
references.
Yeah, normally we'd send out a recording of the webinar, so we can do that so you would have access to the information afterwards. Okay. Um, okay, so there's a question here in the program. Marcin, can we merge two security themes of interest?
Yes, absolutely, especially that the security themes are just recommendations, just in a way for you to easier navigate the program. So yes, absolutely, you can combine to your interests in specific themes. So, yes.
Okay, lovely. Okay, so this is from a candidate. I've just retired from military service after serving for 11 years. My education background is a bachelor's in peace and conflict studies. I'm excited to join IMSIS. Question is related to travelling to 3 countries. What will be the procedure of moving to other partner countries and how will the University of Glasgow support this process? So, Katie, I don't know if you're able to answer that question. Do you know?
Hello. We'll be moving to the partners countries. So the University of Glasgow offers some support in the sense that we will provide some general guidance in terms of visas, but it is ultimately up to the students themselves to ensure that they're getting the correct visas. It's up to the students themselves to ensure that they are getting accommodation. Like I said, we can provide some guidance, we can provide some recommendations, but we will not be securing accommodation and visas for all students as you complete your mobilities.
Okay, lovely. Okay, there's another question here about Glasgow University and references being in specific formats. So yeah, and I think Katie answered that before. So you can either email references in or they can be added directly to your application and uploaded at the same time as your application. So either or, you can email them in or upload them along with your applications. Okay. Okay, so is there a hard limit on regions and countries, especially for program countries? So Katie, I don't know if you're able to answer that question.
Yep. So all of the countries are classified by like program or partner country, and more information can be found on the European Commission's website. When it comes time to allocating like specialty scholarships for different regions, we do check nationality, and we don't like bend the rules for that. So if I'm not fully sure exactly what you're asking in this question, but if you want to find more information about what your nationality is classified as, you can find that on the European Commission's website.
Okay, that's lovely. Thank you. I think we're at the end of our session now, so I don't know, Marcin and Katie, do you want to keep going, or do you want to kind of wrap up now? And
I believe that we need to wrap up, especially that
okay.
judging by the questions that we have answered, I believe that we have covered the most frequent questions that concerned references, that concerned English language requirements, that concerned what to do when you have not your degree certificate issued yet. So I believe that there is a lot of information for those who attended the session and for any other potential applicants.
Okay. And Katie, do you want to say anything? I'm just going to share some contact details in the chat just now. Do you have any?
Yep. So the IMSIS email address that's provided is monitored regularly by my team. So we'll be able to answer some questions if you send them there. A lot of the information is also on the University of Glasgow's website or the IMSIS specific website. So it's important to review that thoroughly before sending us an email, because most likely we've been asked this question many times and we have the answer posted for you already. Just to also note that the University of Glasgow will be closed from the 22nd of December to the beginning of January for the holiday period that we have here. So our IMSIS inbox will not be monitored during that time. So if you send any emails between now and then, there might be a delayed response as people begin to leave for the holiday break. And then over that December holiday time, there will be no responses from that inbox. So it's best to send in questions that you have early to make sure that we can get you an answer before applications close.
Okay, thank you very much for that then. Okay. Can you still see the presentation, or is that gone now?
It is still on.
Okay, still on. Okay, lovely. So you have the contact details here. I've also shared in the chat links to the admissions inquiry line if the question is related to kind of applications or kind of technical issues. The admissions inquiry line has also been included there, but that's more related to particular admissions inquiries, you know, maybe following up on your application or any kind of issues submitting your application, or if you've got queries about things like entry criteria or kind of things that you need to include. I've also included the Glasgow University admissions inquiry line as well. So I'd just like to say thank you to everyone for joining the information session. I hope you found that valuable. Thank you, Marcin. Thank you, Katie.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you, guys.
As well.
Thank you, Katie.
Yeah. It was lovely to meet all of you attendees, and yeah, we wish you the best of luck with your applications, and we hope you get your scholarship applications in by the deadline before January. So yeah, I hope everyone takes care over the festive period, and everyone will be doing different things over the holidays. But yeah, take care, and we hope to see you again next year. We hope to welcome some of you back again next year for further kind of information sessions. So yeah, nice to meet everyone, and take care. Thank you. All the best.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.